No need to get riled, Mistress Claire. We were just playing.
Just come with me.
Hey folks, Rick Gamer here with Real Men Wear Kilts, and I am glad to be talking here to Scott Kyle. Folks, maybe you don't know, or maybe you do know, Scott played Ross the Smith in Season 2, well, actually Season 1, Part 2, and I think he might even be in Season 3 this year, but let's talk to him about that. I know that he's got a Save Ross campaign going on, and so we may have him seeing him more in Season 2. So anyways, I want to welcome Scott. Hey, Scott, how you doing?
Hey, I'm okay. How are you doing?
Doing awesome, bro. Doing awesome.
Good. Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. How long have you been acting?
My mum would probably say since a toddler I've been acting up since I was a very young child. But at the age of 21, I went to college to do it with a view to it being a profession. Before that, it was more kind of amateur stuff at high school and stuff. So most of my life, but since 21 onwards in a more professional capacity.
Mm-hmm. Are you a graduate of the Edinburgh School?
No, because I'm from Glasgow.
Oh.
So I went to a college in Glasgow called the City of Glasgow College.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
That's where I studied for 3 years in the drama department.
Wow. So you've been acting for a while, and a number of your films. One of them that I've actually really enjoyed is Kilo 2 Bravo, and I like that because I served in the military. I was in special operations. I was a paratrooper, jump out of planes, eat snake, things like that. Did you serve in the military at all?
No, I didn't. Thankfully, I was only ever asked to be responsible for pretending to be in our military. I wouldn't have liked the responsibility of actually having to do the job I portrayed on screen, but I was very, very proud and honoured to represent the Parachute Regiment on screen, and in particular Stu Pearson, who I played in the film.
Well, the person, if I remember right, and I don't want this to be a spoiler, but he walked on an IED. How was the makeup for that? It was old school in terms of it wasn't CGI'd. What they did was at the part where I was playing Stu and the leg had came off, they buried my lower leg in the sand in the Jordanian desert. That's where we made the movie. So up to 12 hours a day. Once my character stood on the IED, I was buried in the ground for 12 hours a day. So it was a long, hot day lying on your back, but as the real paratroopers reminded me, they didn't get iced water or lovely umbrellas to shade them from the sun when they were there, so I couldn't moan too much. So did you go through special training or anything for this film?
We did a boot camp for the movie, and we spent a lot of time with the real soldiers, trying to get a feel for what it was like over there, the stories they shared, and how serious and passionate they are about their job and being a paratrooper.
Wow, how cool! I have some Outlander stuff here that I wanted to ask you. One reader asks, well, how did you get the part of Ross?
The part of Ross, I was actually at the Edinburgh Festival doing a play with a Finnish theatre company, and my agent called and said, "You've got an audition for a part called Ross in a show called Outlander." And in Scotland, Outlander hadn't been broadcast, so I had no idea the scale of the show. I went to the audition in a little flat in Edinburgh. That was the casting director's flat, and auditioned. It was a 3-line audition. There wasn't a lot in the audition. I played the part, and I was very fortunate enough that out of all the people they saw, they decided to give the job to me. Thankfully.
Oh, awesome. How did you enjoy doing the part? How did this part affect your life now?
The part was absolutely fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it because it's portraying aspects of Scottish history, which has always interested me. And getting to be on the field in your tartan, your kilt, and be a Scottish warrior, and looking across the field, and there's
hundreds and hundreds of redcoats. It was just the best fun ever. And it was nice to go on as well and learn more from some of the guys who've been doing it a bit longer, like say Sam and Katrina, who've been on the show already for a while. So you were coming into something that was a well-oiled machine, and there was a lot of room to learn and grow. So it was a wonderful experience.
Well, it's interesting because you kind of came in as, and I don't want to call you a primary part, but in a sense you are a primary part since Angus dies and you and Rupert then become all the buddies and stuff. You kind of got escalated up into the main group, if you want to call it that. What was it like?
Yeah, it was.
Go ahead.
It was a strange one because I remember reading the script in the episode where Stephen Walters' character Angus died. So I read that in the room and I was going, "Oh my God, I'm so devastated that they're killing off Angus." You know, kind of one of my favourite parts. And then you keep on reading on and you realise, oh wow, my character is kind of is kind of going along as the new partner in crime with Rupert. So yeah, it was in one sense, as a fan of the show, it was devastating, but at the same other time I was going, as the actor portraying the new character coming in, it was exciting. Yeah. You know, very exciting.
What was it like acting or being, partners in crime with Grant?
Grant had been on the show, obviously, pretty much from the beginning, so he was very experienced and he was very generous with his time and his advice. And I would often ask him for his opinions on certain things, and on some of the scenes, like we really struggled with the singing scene when they're in the courtyard, kind of singing Down Among the Dead Men, and Grant and I would sit and batter together ideas of how we're going to play it and where we're going to find the truth in it, and yeah, I owe a lot to Grant because it was absolutely fantastic to work alongside, and he gave me the benefit of his experience, which I was always very grateful for.
Well, that was a great scene, too. How was it playing alongside with Sam and Kate?
Alongside Sam and Katrina?
Yes.
Yeah. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, going into the show and meeting Sam and Kate, the funny thing is I'd already watched season 1. So before I was offered the part, I'd been watching the show, obviously, to study it before my audition. So I was watching the kind of screening going, oh, wow, imagine you got a part in this, and I was saying to my wife, imagine I walked on screen, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it? And then it came the day where you were going to be walking on screen, and it was very, very surreal. But credit to Sam and Kat, they are very, very down to earth. They included you in the group from the offset, and I was invited out to kind of nights out with the cast, and there was bonding over a nice bottle of wine and some nice restaurants over the course, so it was wonderful.
Okay, got to ask about the weather, because weather in Scotland is pretty dank already. But how was the weather? What was any memorable times of blasted cold or hot or anything like that?
Well, one of the things is, it's funny you said there about the weather, was one of the first questions you would ask arriving on set any given morning is, what's the weather forecast? And tend to be the answer would be, don't ask. That would be the answer. Just don't ask, because it's going to be everything. We're going to start off sunny, then it's going to rain, then it's going to be snowy, then there'll be ice. So yeah, very much 4 seasons in one day. So hard to pin down any one day, but I'll tell you, my first kind of scenes on the show were all outdoor on location. So when they were putting my costume for me together, the girl would say, do you want your hat on? I was like, yeah, I'll have my hat on. Do you want your gloves? Yeah, I'll have my jacket as well. So I was wrapped up a lot, so I was feeling quite smug that I was as warm as I could be outside in the cold. And then what we did was we did the internal scenes, so where my character runs into the hut, and we did the inside in the studio in Cumbernauld. And therefore all your layers start to work against you. So you're absolutely sweating when you're in the studio with all the lights and all the people. So yeah, the smart idea of putting all the layers on worked against me when we were actually filming inside the studio and doing the same scenes. So that was, a lesson learned. You got to get balance right.
Barbara wants to know, did you actually carry your co-actor in and help put him on the bed?
Yes, I did, and that was a number of takes. I think there was maybe 10 to 15 takes.
Holy man.
And Gregor is a big lad, so Yeah, and that was one of the internal shots. So it is already very, very hot in that room with all the lights and all the camera equipment and all the power and all the actors, all the crew and all the extras, and having to do over about 15 times carrying this very heavy man in and lay him down 15 times. Yeah, it was pretty tiring.
So
yeah, that was all real.
All the sweat and everything that you see is real sweat.
Yeah, that's real sweat. That's 15 takes worth of sweat, that.
So would you say then that the costume that does keep you warm then?
They keep you warm when you're outside, and they boil you when you're inside. So it's just a, what do they say, a poison chalice essentially.
So what would you say would be the most challenging scene that you were in?
Challenging scene. I think the death of Kincaid, and the reason for that was there's an awful lot of emotions go through a person when they lose someone, and obviously you try to channel that from your life experience. But obviously you've never lost anybody in a battle against the Redcoats in the 1700s, you know. So, and also in the scene, I only had one line in the scene with Katrina. So you were trying to convey an awful lot of emotions. It was actually one word. I only say one word in the whole scene. So yeah, I had to rely on the emotions that I was portraying and make sure the camera was going to get those emotions. And I was also very fortunate that Katrina was very kind. In the scene I'm referring to, she leaves the camera with me. And what I mean by that is, as the lead actress on the show, she could have taken the camera with her at any point by leaving the scene and maybe giving the cameraman something worth filming. And actually what she did was she left the camera with me and didn't really give the cameraman anything to film, so he stayed with me. Yeah. And I always thought that was a testament to not only how great an actress Katrina was, but what a generous actress she was as well.
Get some kilt questions, because this is what a lot of my guys are interested in, some kilts. One, do you own a kilt?
I got married in a kilt. I went to my movie premiere of Kilo 2 Bravo in a kilt. Wore a kilt in Outlander, and there's a Highlander tartan kilt that I also own that I'll be wearing at the Highlander Fling this year.
Oh, cool.
So yes, I very much own a kilt. Yes, I have two.
Is it something that you wear a lot, or is it just something that you wear for special occasion?
I would say that I would tell you, if you met me in a bar, I would say I wear it at special occasions. My friends would say I've never got it off and I wear it all the time.
Now, I see there's a picture on your Facebook here that it looks kind of like a orangish sort of red tartan. What is that?
Yes, that was a tartan that was made by the Bathgate Kilt Studio, and it's called the Highlander tartan. And they made that because I was going to a lot of events, like the BAFTAs and other award ceremonies, and I kept on hiring different kilts. So I was always in their shop saying, I'm looking for a new kilt, a different kilt for this award ceremony. And I went to America, and I took several with me to America for the tour. And when I returned, they said, Scott, we've made you a Highlander tartan, so you can stop being a pest and asking us for all those different kilts. Now you have your own.
How cool.
So yeah, that's the Highlander tartan, and the theme of it is 4 seasons in one day, and that's why you can see all the colours in it.
No, I think
it's the 4 seasons of the year. That's the idea behind it.
Oh, it's a beautiful tartan. No, it's awesome. How cool. So you have your own tartan. That's awesome, bro.
Yeah, I'm very honoured.
Is that a standard 8-yard kilt that you're wearing there? And
so that's a custom made one, and it's a more modern one. It's not the traditional one that we'd wear in the show.
Yeah. Now,
so it's the same style that I wore at my wedding. So it's quite modern.
So when you were in the show and everything, did you have to fold your own plate, and or did they make it so that you can throw them on rather quickly?
No, the kilts were brought to. It's funny being an actor on a show. They don't trust you to do anything. They don't trust you to get dressed on your own. So they send someone to get dressed, to get you dressed. So the costume team would come in and lay it on the floor of the trailer. I would lie in it, and they would wrap me into it. They would wrap me up into it.
So you were doing the full pleating then and everything, or at least
Yes,
they were
yes,
doing the full
yep,
pleating.
Yep,
So,
yep, every day.
So how long did it take you to get in costume?
It wasn't actually that long, maybe 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
One of the questions from the ladies: commando or no commando?
It depends on. Sometimes thermal underwear is available and is advised for those long cold days on set. But yes, mostly whenever I can, I normally am a true Scotsman.
Good.
When weather permits.
Because one of the other, I was talking to Ronnie Goodwin. He was one of the horsemen on the show, and he was saying
Yeah, Ronnie's a great guy.
Getting on and off the horses all the time. They were in bike shorts because it frees your nether regions, and so they.
I never wore them, but I knew that Grant had wore them, and the reason I knew that was the stories of Grant's terrified of the horses, and a lot of the time he had to do a scene with them. So I remember that conversation came up, and one of the funny stories about him being terrified of the horses.
So speaking of funny stories, what were some of the more funny stories or funny moments that really stood out to you while you were on set?
There was loads and loads of funny moments, but one of the most recent actually happened off screen, and it was I was in the US doing a tour, and I was in the Hilton Hotel, and someone said to me, that was William Shatner just walked past. And I went, really, William Shatner? And they said, yes. So I ran out. I ran up to the lift, and the door was just closing. So I stuck my hand in the door, and I said, hello, Mr. Shatner, it's Scott Kyle. We've been chatting on Twitter. I'm from Outlander, blah, blah, blah. And I said, can we get a photograph? And he said, I've just got off a plane, I'd rather not. And I was like, okay, no worries. And he went away in the lift. And later on that evening, the hotel manager came over to me. And he said, Mr. Kyle, I'm so sorry. He said, I was in the lift with Mr. Shatner. He said, we had no idea what you said. You just ran up. You were out of breath. You were speaking so quickly. You said, blah, blah, blah. We thought you said you were from the Outlands in Scotland. And I was like, oh, man, I was so excited about seeing him that I spoke so quickly, he didn't have a clue what I was saying. So I think I must have came across like the Tasmanian devil. Just blah, 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 blah.
Well, how cool. So
my one chance probably in life of meeting William Shatner, and I messed it up by speaking too quickly.
So you didn't get to see him again at all? You didn't run into him anymore?
No, he was there. He was going to I think it was one of the big Comic Cons.
Yeah.
So he was only in town for that. So no, he moved. So did I.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I've never told him that. I've never told him that story. I was too embarrassed.
Are you a partaker of the Scotch or the whiskey?
Yeah, most Scotsmen are, but the thing I would say is that most Scotsmen don't drink it because they like the taste. They drink it because it gets them drunk quickly. So there's a means to the end.
What? Do you mind me asking?
It's not so much about quenching a thirst or anything. It's more about getting drunk quickly.
Well, do you have any favorite brands that you enjoy?
I don't. In my house, I don't have a brand on the shelf, to be honest. But my wife's dad drinks Famous Grouse.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that he drinks. So at Christmas or any special occasions, I tend to share a Famous Grouse with Karen's dad.
Mm-hmm. No, because a lot of my readers, a lot of my group members and everything, it's all Scottish stuff, and so a lot of them enjoy good.
I mean, there's a lot of selection, and most people I spoke to are never disappointed with anything they choose. So there's a lot of really good stuff out there.
Mm-hmm. Now you live in the Glasgow area. Are there any distilleries near you?
Distilleries?
Yeah.
Most of the distilleries are out with the city, to be honest. More up kind of near the high. So not that I can think of. I know there's breweries in the city centre, but not so much distilleries.
Mm-hmm. So would you see yourself more of an ale and beer connoisseur or wine connoisseur?
Yeah, I like I like a nice lager, a nice pint of cold lager.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy that, and I think it's because the whiskey glass is never full enough. It's always it empties too quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's your favorite ale, or what's your favorite lager?
Well, in Scotland we've got Tennent's Lager, which before Sam Hewn was in the show, he basically was the face of Tennent's Lager.
Oh, okay.
So that's my lager of choice, and it's got an Outlander connection.
Oh, cool. How cool. Because Outlander is so popular and everything, I actually have a number of my members in Scotland right now. They're at the Edinburgh Fest and such. What do you think of, have you ever seen any Americans over there wearing kilts?
Sorry, what do you think of what the Americans...
I said, have you seen any Americans over there wearing kilts?
Oh yeah, a lot of the Outlander fans that either come and visit me or we meet up with are wearing kilts. Yeah, and they absolutely love it. A lot of the tours, if people are going on the tours, they tend to get dressed up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, very, very popular. I think it's part of it. If you're coming to Scotland, you have to don the kilt and walk up and down the Edinburgh Royal Mile. That's part and parcel.
So that's what I need to do when I make it to Scotland. So that's what I need to do.
Yes, and you must meet a Scotsman called Scott Kyle and buy him as much alcohol as he can consume.
I would be glad to do that. I would definitely be glad to do that. Have you, because of Outlander, do you see tourism going up and everything?
Yes, very much so. All the locations that the show's been filmed on, there's regular tours that go to those events. I'm running the Highlander Fling event. This year we're in the Linlithgow Borough Halls, which is next to Linlithgow Palace, where they filmed scenes from season 1. So yeah, those sort of events have been born out of the show. So I think there's about 70% of our audience attended the gathering, the Highlander Fling, are from America or Canada.
Wow.
So definitely.
So, because I see that tickets are sold out already, and that's taking place this September, right?
Yeah, we're on this year. It's September the 16th in the Linlithgow Borough Halls, and that's been sold out now for months. Yeah. And we've actually got next year's event, which is in the Rothes Halls up in Glen Rothes, which is my new job. That's where I work, the new theatres I'm working in up there. And that's a bigger venue, so we've increased the capacity because demand's so much. So we're now in a 300-seater venue. Wow. This year it's only 120, so we've doubled the capacity.
So what I need to do...
tickets have already started selling for that already. They were already out. We've got 45 tickets purchased already.
So is that... Do you have a date for that one?
Yeah, that's the 15th of September in 2018. Okay. And the details are on my website if you want to be nosy, which is www.scottkyle.co.uk.
Okay. What I'll do is I'll put a lot of these things in the comments, and I'll also give you I'll put your website and everything up on screen and everything as well. But
wonderful.
Yeah. No, I'm all about promoting stuff and everything. Do you do any tours? Do you host any tours or anything? The Kylander tour or anything?
No, I haven't. I haven't been asked. But a lot of the things that happen with the Kylander is very kind people taking the initiative. It's never myself who kind of initiates it. It's normally somebody else with a nice idea, and because they've been supportive, I tend to say, yeah, I'll support that. So I'm doing a tour in September the 1st, with Slangy Tours. And that's a girl, Catriona Stevenson, that's running that, and she very kindly asked me to attend it. There's a lot of people coming over from America, so and the nice thing for me and my wife is we haven't seen a lot of the Outlander locations with working on them. So it'll be nice to go and visit the locations and see them as they are.
So Karen,
because normally when we turn up, there's green screens everywhere and stuff, so we don't see it as it is.
So your wife Karen gets to go along with you and kind of sees where you go to work also.
Yeah, that's part of the deal. That anything I'm doing, I normally have to say that I have to accommodate Karen or I can't come.
Well, she's a beautiful wife, so you're a lucky man.
Yeah. Got to keep the good lady happy. That's I always say to folk, getting a good lady is easy. Anybody can do that. It's keeping a good lady. Yep. That's the secret.
Yep. Tourists are always needing to eat. So what is if you were leading the tour, what kind of food or what kind of fare would you take people to, or what would you recommend?
If I was leading the tour, we'd have an hourly stop at a bar. We would have plenty of food, haggis, meat and chatties at regular intervals. Yeah. And we just go down and see the best bits of Scotland. If I'm being honest, I've been very fortunate from touring on the theatre circuit. I stayed at some wonderful hostels all over Scotland as an actor. And the reason we could have stayed in hotels, but you meet more interesting characters staying in the hostels. There's, the stories of the people in the hostels are always much better than the story of the people in the hotels. When you go into the backpackers in the hostel up in Inverness, for example, you know, you meet people from all over the world, and the musicians, and you know, there's people that have got a guitar and a change of clothes, and they're just touring the world, and those people just fascinate me. So yeah, I definitely make sure that we're stopping off and staying at those type of places.
You mentioned haggis and everything. Do you eat haggis? Do you like haggis?
Haggis and eating tatties is wonderful. Most kids in Scotland grow up. We eat mince and potatoes, mince and tatties, and haggis is. People would say it's an acquired taste. Most people I've ever met find it delicious. You just can't tell them how it's made,
so
or what it is.
What is more of your favorite food there? I mean, what do you enjoy if you got the choice? I'm taking you out to dinner. Where do you name your restaurant? What restaurant or what food would you have me eat?
I would my first choice is probably Italian. I love Italian food, and I think that I worked in Italy for 2 years. I like my restaurants. I like food. Big fan of food.
Yep. Iron Brew, yay or nay?
Oh, yeah. Iron Brew is a national drink.
How much was it drink on the set?
So you were asking me about Iron Brew, but
Brew.
I lost the question in it. So I was saying Iron Brew is a must. Yes, absolutely.
So is that,
and you should be eating that with all your meals in Scotland.
I've never had it before. What does it taste like?
Oh, that's the hardest question of all the questions I get asked. It is essentially, it's a lot of sugar and water, and they put an orange dye through it, and kids in Scotland just love it. I don't know anything that tastes like it. It's very hard. People would say that it's orange, so the temptation would be to say that it's an orangish flavour. I don't think it is. I'm not sure. You have to try it to understand.
Have you ever had do they have, here in America, they have a drink called Mountain Dew, and it's kind of greenish.
Yes, I like Mountain Dew, yeah.
Does it taste?
Yeah, I like Mountain Dew. I wouldn't say it tastes like Iron Brew, but when I've been in America, I've become highly addicted to that. So I imagine that is also a lot of sugar and water.
It's got a lot of caffeine in it also. That's what a lot of people like, is the caffeine in Mountain Dew. So
right.
That's what kind of keeps everybody going here too. So deep fried food.
Well, the saying over here that the slogan of Iron Brew is that Iron Brew gets you through. That's what they say. So it gets you through a long day or a long night. Iron Brew gets you through.
Did you see a lot of it on the set then? I think I asked you that, but a lot of drinking.
On the set, it's very funny being on the set, because I was on the set one day and they came round and they said, "Would you like some treats?" And I was like, "Oh yes, definitely some treats." Now in my head I'm thinking Iron Brew, some Golden Wonder crisps, some maybe a Twix, a chocolate bar, or a biscuit. And when they arrived back, it was carrot sticks and celery sticks, and I was so disappointed.
Oh, no.
And that's why Sam and Kat look the way they look, because my idea of a snack was Iron Brew, crisps and biscuits, and the snack that was offered up was some carrot sticks and celery sticks. So that's the secret. If anybody wants to know why they look so good, because that's the snacks. They eat healthy snacks.
So no deep fried foods or anything there on set, huh?
No, none of that. Unfortunately, I was always campaigning for that, but I would always lose out.
Deep fried foods. Do you enjoy, or do you eat a lot of the deep fried stuff like Mars bars?
Yeah, we do. My wife and I are occasional to maybe a fish supper or a sausage supper, which is kind of chips, kind of fries with a deep fried kind of battered sausage or fish.
Yeah.
Popular dish in Scotland, and there was a period in time where the kids were going through a stage of deep frying Mars bars, but I think that was more a kind of a little phase as opposed to a national dish.
What about deep fried pizza? I've seen a couple videos of people eating deep fried pizza.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, it's something I've never tried. I never fancied that. I like my Italian pizza, stone based, you know, kind of nice cooked in the stone oven. But no, not deep fried for me. No, thank you.
Fringe Fest. Do you have anything going on with Fringe Fest yourself? I know you had your Rod Stewart event go on.
Yeah, but I've been at the festival. The Edinburgh Festival is so exciting in Scotland. The biggest arts festival in the world, and it's on our doorstep. We're very, very fortunate. And I went to see the National Theatre of Scotland doing a show last week. That was great. I went to visit the Italian theatre company who I worked with. They've got some work over here. And there's a Finnish theatre company as well, Ace Productions, who I've went to see their shows, and I've worked with them before as well. So there's lots going on. There's far too many shows to ever go and see them all. There's not enough hours in the day to go and see them all, but it's wonderful to go and attend such a large arts festival on our doorstep.
Did you go see Grant's show? He's doing.
Did you go and see what show?
Did you see Jockey Wilson? Did you see Grant O'Rourke's show?
Oh, I've not been to see Grant's yet. No, Grant's show is on at 3:45 in the Rose Theatre, so I'm going to get through. I think he's on until the 26th, so I'll get through before the end of the festival. But Grant won an award for that show, so
awesome.
I know it will be an incredible show, and I've witnessed firsthand how great an actor Grant is. So when he won the Best Actor for his role in that, I wasn't surprised.
Wow. How cool. I've been talking to him on Twitter and everything, and I'm hoping to get him on my show as well. Until after Edinburgh Fest. But after Edinburgh Fest, I hope to get him on. But he's been very gracious.
He's a busy man. He's got great chat, Grant. So he's highly intellectual. So you can ask him more challenging questions than me. Don't ask me any difficult questions. But Grant's your man for that.
Now, are you still working at Bathgate, the theater up there?
No, I was at the Regal Theatre in Bathgate for 5 years, and the last year that I was there, Outlander fans donated and contributed over £80,000 to the charity, which was incredible.
Wow! And
that money has been used to put mirrored walls on the dance studio. It's been used to put a green screen in, a new cafe bar for all the patrons of the theatre and the kids in there. So yeah, that was a wonderful 5 years. But I got offered the opportunity to programme for 4 theatres up in Fife, and it was just too big an opportunity to turn down. You know, what I tried to do was make an impact in the arts with the Regal Theatre, and I managed to do that. But now I've got a chance with 4 theatres to contribute even more and to generate jobs for actors and hopefully to improve the arts on a wider scale. So I'm no longer there, but I'm very proud of the work we've done, and I still check out what the kids are up to and making sure that they're still following all the advice I left them with.
Wow, what a great legacy! Oh my goodness, that's awesome, dude.
It was like everything, sad to leave, but I think I can contribute more elsewhere as well. I think I can support the arts on a bigger scale in my new role on Fife up in Fife in Scotland. So it's 4 theatres. It's a much bigger job, much more responsibility. The 4 venues are much bigger as well. They're all 500 seaters, so it's a huge challenge. And it's partly the reason why I'm not on Twitter as much, because I don't have as much time.
Wow. So do you? I'm taking it that you commute a lot then because of that.
Yes, I drive an hour to work in the morning and an hour back home at night time. But and they asked me in my job interview, they said, would that be a problem? And I said, well, at the end of the day, it's worth the travel. It's an exciting job, you know. It's a very, very exciting.
How cool.
Exciting opportunity for me. So what I do is I take time in the car to do all my phone calls. I do an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening. And in the office, I don't take phone calls because I leave them until the car journey. Yeah. Because there's nothing else really I can do in the car.
Question, and I don't know if you can answer this or not, but are you going to be in season 3?
My character was only ever in season 2, unfortunately, and I wasn't promised or never expected anything further. So people that have seen the show will know that at the end of season 2, the Scots are looking like they're heading to Culloden.
Yeah.
I've only ever filmed what was in season 2, so I've no idea
what the show will decide to do with my character, if anything, and whether he would show up ever again. I've no idea.
Yeah, because you're hanging out with Rupert and everything like that, but we all know that Rupert doesn't do well at Culloden. So I'm just, we were wondering.
So as my mum would have warned me, be careful whose company you keep. Stay away from those troublemakers.
Well, it sounds like you've now stopped in your home and everything. Am I correct?
Yes, I am. I've arrived at my home. Yes.
Yeah. So I really, really appreciate your time. Is there anything, last words, or is there anything else that you want to share with the listeners and viewers and fans of Outlander and fans of Scott Kyle?
Not a particular message, but in terms of the kilts, that they should all buy a kilt and get their pictures and get them tweeted and tag me. And I'd love to see more people in kilts. It should be the national dress of every country in the world, in my opinion. Kilts are beautiful. I want to see more of them.
Well, I'm actually wearing a Black Watch standard kilt right now. And if you go to Real Men Wear Kilt, you'll see I took a picture and challenged everybody. Okay, who's wearing their kilts today? Give me a picture. Let's see it. So, but
well, yeah, that's I'd like to get that going on Twitter. Get a campaign going. Shows your kilt. That'd be really cool.
So, but I really, really appreciate your time. I hope that whenever we make it over to Scotland, maybe what I can do is hook up with you and buy you dinner and some drams and tell more stories.
I was going to say I'm a very cheap date. I just require lots of alcohol.
No problem here, man. So, again, I appreciate it. Folks, this is Ray Gano, and with Real Men Wear Kilts, we've been spending a wonderful time here with Scott Kyle. Some great inside information, great stories. Scott, I again appreciate it. Thank you again, and good luck to you and to all your great endeavors, and continue to hope to see you on screen.
Thank you very much, and thanks for your time, and thanks to everybody for listening. It's much appreciated, your support. Take care.
Take care.